Hello, everyone. My next guest is Samir Khalilov. Samir is a real estate agent here in Toronto, Ontario. We start talking about real estate at minute 30 of this show. So if you would like to listen to real estate suggestions or his thoughts, just go to minute 30 of this particular episode. Enjoy the show, everyone. All right, we're live. Samir Khalilov, how's it going, man?
Hey man, thanks for hosting me. It's a great day, even though we're all both stuck at home.
I know, man. I know.
So,
Hey, it's so funny. Like, I don't know. Usually, if a guy named Robert is interviewing a guy called Bob, and they're both Roberts, like no one gives a damn, right? They have the same name. But for me, like talking to a guy for an extended period of time who has exactly the same name as I do, like it's not really common for me. So it's so funny that we have the same name. So we sort of, I don't know. For me, it's always like, wow, like we grew up like getting like with people like calling us, but I don't know, it's weird. Like it's no one really gonna freaking care about that, but I'm just saying that's just pretty funny.
exactly, and the thing is that it's actually a very common name in
I
the
know,
country where I'm from.
me too, yeah.
It's almost like every third person name is Samir. So
Really? Well, I'm from Kazakhstan, and that name is not very common there, but like my dad is from Afghanistan, and
uh
that name is common there, and I know it's a common name in India too, and in other
yeah,
Middle Eastern countries, but like not in Kazakhstan, and certainly
I
not in Russia.
I think in India they have this name with two
Too
e's.
easy, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and it means I think air, and in Arabic it means supporter of the conversation.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there you go. You're
I know.
doing exactly what your name
I'm
stands
fulfilling
for.
fulfilling my destiny of being Samir.
Yeah,
And Samir Azizi. Azizi means my dear in Arab, in Persian.
yeah, it's the
So
same in
so.
Azeri as well.
Oh, cool. And where?
hmm In Azerbaijan, in
Oh,
Azerbaijani
cool.
language.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it very similar Azeri to Persian, to like Farsi or Dari?
No, it's pretty different, but
Uh huh.
it's similar to Turkish. And so
Uh
I
huh.
think the original Kazakh language is
Mhm.
also similar. It's
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
same group of languages. It's
Mhm.
Turkic
Mhm.
languages.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's the same thing basically.
Nice, man. Yeah. So a little backstory. By the way, do you hear me well? I'm always freaking out about my sound quality. Do you hear me well?
Yeah, I do hear you.
All right.
It's
Perfect.
pretty good.
And I just gonna double check right away. All right, we're good. So yeah, so backstory, right? I recently came to Canada like 6 months ago, and before that, I was in the United States, but then like they basically didn't give me the work visa. I had to leave, so I went back to Kazakhstan. When I started working on coming to Canada right away. Applied for permanent residency, we gathered documents, blah 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 blah. Like typical
Yeah.
express entry, whatever. Watching another video, whoever's watching, how it's done. But then I started watching the blog. I was like, wow, like, okay, now I want to know like what's exactly going to happen. Like, cause I got my invitation, I got everything. I pretty much like, was ready to go. I had the date set and I had, uh, sorry, some technical stuff. I had the date set and I was like, okay, like I want to watch some videos. And I like just typed it in and you came up and like with your journey from, I think from Russia or from Moscow, something like that. And you went, I think with your wife and, just you showed everything from the beginning to end, the airport and all of that, and after that you made those videos. Tell me about that experience and how did you decide to like just show the world your journey?
So basically, the thing is, when I found out about this program, at first I didn't believe that it's that easy. And then once we received our permanent residence, it took us only 3 months. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know what? A lot of people around the world probably are in the same page like me, and they don't know how easy it is to get the permanent residence in Canada. So
Mm-hmm.
I should make a video, and I had a lot of. I knew that as soon as I will tell my friends that I'm going to Canada, all of them will have 100 questions. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided to make a video. So that video would just answer all of the basic questions.
Mm-hmm.
And once somebody has some specific questions, they can connect with me directly. But then this video went out, and
It
I
blew
had a
up.
lot of I
Yeah.
saw some I saw some people from India, from Dubai, from anywhere else. People were writing me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't expecting that a lot of people will actually watch it.
That's
I
like a
made it
dream
just
of every YouTuber to blow up like that and have so many views. Like for the longest time, I was thinking like, I should invite like an immigration attorney and like do like an immigration clickbait, like for everyone to like just watch my video. But like but your video was really great in terms of content and quality. So yeah, I was like, wow, this guy is. And then you continued to put out the videos and the whole journey. So that was pretty awesome, man.
I think the main thing is that once you make something sincere and you don't have a goal to, I don't know, to monetize that video and then to put some plugs about something, that makes it more interesting for people. So you know that you're just sharing with your experience. And my goal was just to help people. There was nothing else.
That was great, and you did help. You did help me. You know, you gave me a peace of mind because of your video. I thought I knew exactly what to expect from the whole airport situation. Because the one thing, like, because I'm always freaking out about everything, like I need to be in complete control of everything that I'm doing in terms of like I want to predict everything that's going to happen to me. And that's a problem because you can never predict. But like I was always like, okay, if I'm gonna like, even when I got the whole permanent resident thing, like the invitation, I thought like they're gonna, you know, ask me something at the airport and then I will not give them the right answer or something like that. And they will just say like, you know what, turn around and go back. We don't want you. Like I always had this freaking anxiety or something like that. So just to know exactly like how it was for you and that you successfully came to this country, especially to the same city that I came to, you know, really gave me some peace of mind.
That's great. That's good to hear. I think it's the same for me as well. I was actually looking for this kind of videos before I came in.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to find exactly what I'm looking. So I decided that since there's no content about that, I'll make it. So there is a demand and there's no supply. So basically, that's the idea. That's how I decided to make it.
And you did it in English too. You could have done it in Russian or whatever, and you would only have like a fraction of the viewership. But you've made it in English and you made it international. So you're helping like everyone in the world.
Yeah, the idea was that if somebody is coming to Canada with permanent residence, they probably know English, right? So that's why I decided to make it in English, so anybody can benefit from this.
Was it tough for you? Did you make videos before? Like, was that like a new thing for me?
First time, never did a video before. First time, and after actually I arrived in Canada, I followed the video in a way that I was filmed in these background movies. I was filmed in lots of different movies, you know, American Gods.
Oh yeah, because you were once you came to Canada, you had a video about that. You started like going to castings, and you were like a background actor, like for different TV shows.
Exactly.
Like Suits and stuff.
Suits.
Yeah,
I was everywhere, man. I was like maybe in 10, 15 movies, and I'm somewhere in the background, stuck. Like nobody can see you there. It's just like a survival job. It's pretty easy.
Right. So let's talk about this, right? So you came to Canada, you posted that video. I started following you. I subscribed to your channel. I actually I emailed you right away because you left your email under someone's comment. And I just like emailed you right away. I'm like, yo, like my name is Samir. And you know, same name. I'm from Kazakhstan, but I'm like going to Canada soon. So like, really, I don't know what I texted you or emailed you, but I remember that email. Like I emailed you right away, and so there you responded. And I added you on LinkedIn and all of that. And it's so funny how we were already talking. We were supposed to meet a month ago, but you know, we couldn't like connect with the scheduling. But in any case, yeah, it was funny. But then I'm seeing like your next videos were like about how to find an apartment. And which, by the way, also helped me out because I knew that there's a strategy. You said like, hey, like pay for upfront for several months, and that's how you avoid the whole credit check because you're a new immigrant. So like I had that in mind right away, and that's exactly like why I'm here right now. Like I paid upfront, you know, with the that's how, you know, it's not for everyone, but sometimes, you know, that's the easiest way. So like your advice has really helped me out. And then the next video I'm seeing like you're like hustling and shit. You're like talking about, you know, how to get a job, and like so helpful. And I think so. Talk to me about those experiences. Like, so you came to Canada, right? And what's your background, by the way, in terms of education and profession?
So my education is in finance and economics. So I graduated from Azerbaijan State Economic University. I also did a program in US. So once I came to Azerbaijan, I worked for PwC in audit. Then I moved to KPMG in corporate finance. That's how I left to Russia.
Yeah, those are some big firms, man. Big Four accounting firms. Yeah. That's some legit stuff, man.
And you know, in Azerbaijan, you only have few options. It's either you go to Big Four or you go to oil companies.
Oil, yeah. So, same in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, BP or you know, all the other companies.
Right.
So yeah, basically, I chose the road to go into the finance field, and that's how I got exposure to different markets. So I was auditing different companies, then I was working in KPMG creating financial models for different companies. So I learned a lot about business when I was working there. But my passion was never actual the finance itself. It was more of the learning about those businesses. That was interesting for me, you know. And I always like to work with people, and I like the sales side of the job. So in order to be in sales for big four companies, usually are a senior manager or a director or partner. That's the people who get involved in actual sales. They go out and they make the presentations, they meet with the clients, and they sell the product. And then the technical guys, they just come in and they do the work, right? The dirty part, right, of the job.
Right.
So I was interested in that end result, but it was taking so long to get there. So I decided to leave and come into Canada and start fresh and start from sales. So exactly what I wanted to do from the beginning.
That's awesome. And so, and I know for the fact how hard it is to do sales from the first, like for the first time, because my first internship was in selling stuff, right? And I didn't even sell like physical stuff. They told me to sell payroll services. There's a payroll company and you have to like, so it's a service, right? And at that time, I didn't even quite understood how payroll is processed in the United States. So I had to go business to business, door to door, and offer them payroll services based on the fact what I learned in terms of the brochure, but I didn't really understand the value of it. So like a mentor, like a great teacher in selling is really, really important. Was that tough for you to start selling, and what exactly did you sell?
Actually, I started off with the toughest sales job. It was door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
Of home internet, home security, you know, all of that services, TV. So imagine like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m. You're knocking at somebody's door.
Yeah.
It's negative 25 outside. It's dark. And snow is like 1 meter of snow. Your car is completely covered in snow. You can't even, you have to dig it up each time you come back. And it's really cold. So you go in and you knock, and people are mad that, hey, I just came in from work. I don't want to talk.
No one wants to talk to a salesman at 6 p.m. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. I want to spend time with my family. Who are you here? And, you know, some people were even, you know, like telling me that they're going to shoot me. They're going to feed me to there's some crazy people out there, man.
Look, man. I mean, you're saying like it was like, let's be real, it wasn't as positive, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I can imagine like immigrating to Canada and thinking like, I'm going to find a better life here and, you know, I'm going to reach success. But then like, you know, you're going door to door and people saying F you like 5 out of 10 or 5 out of 7 times, right? And it's freaking minus 25. It's no Baku, you know, it's not the same. And you're like, is this where I come for this? You know, is this why I came here? Is this like my country now? Is this what I do now in this country? I worked in, I don't want to cuss too much on this podcast, but I worked at KPMG. I worked in PwC, the big four companies. And now I'm here door to door going and selling, you know, stuff. And and people tell me to go F myself.
Exactly.
I mean, those kind of thoughts, did they go through your mind? Because they would probably go through my mind.
Actually, the good thing here is that it's up to your first sale until you have that kind of thoughts that it's difficult. But as soon as you have your first sale, and it took me less than a week to make my first sale. So in my first week of work, I already made one sale.
Nice.
So I was super happy. So all of that stuff actually was behind. So I did not focus on that because I saw that, hey, I made a sale. And I'm gonna make a commission, right?
Nice.
So I realized that people who have been in this job for a few years, even they're struggling to make a sale. And I did it in the first week. It was not difficult for me.
So you tasted the blood like a shark.
Exactly. I tested the blood, and I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. And then I became #1 in Canada for sales.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, I sold more than anybody else. My name was always in the top ranks. So whenever they said, who do you think, we had like hurdle meetings where all the team would come together from all areas in GTA. And then they'd say, who do you think this week made the highest sales? And most people would say Samir. So I made good commission there. Plus I had the salary, so it was pretty good. I liked it, even though it was physically challenging, just
Right.
walking, knocking at the doors. But the main thing is that the mindset. If you put your mindset in the right place, and you actually know that 90 people out of 100 are not going to buy this. And you expect that. You don't say that, I'm going to sell to 100 out of 100. I don't need that. I knew that I'm getting paid for 90 people to say no.
Okay.
I have a fixed.
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a salary which pays me to hear no 90 out of even 99 out of 100 times. What I do with the rest is up to me, and if I can make that ratio different, so it go maybe 80 to 20 or 30 to 70, that's where I make my money, and that's where the positive mindset comes in, So I was happy about those 20% of people saying yes. That's what I was looking for. I was not focusing on people saying no, because it was just for me, it was just knocking at the door. How long is it going to take me? Like 5 minutes to talk to somebody first, and then they say, like, when they then open the door and when they curse, it's even less than a minute. So it's not a problem. It's just also they have a team support. Each time you make a sale, you take a selfie, you send it to the group chat, and everybody's like, "Oh, nice."
Gotta brag. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually, wow, I just really learned something new. That's such a great way to put it. You're getting paid so that people tell you no for 90% of the time. So it comes with the territory. It's nothing like, and then it's up to you to decide how you're gonna, take advantage of the other 10% of the opportunities.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's so awesome. Okay, and so how long were you doing that?
So I did that for 3 months. It was during the winter months. It was the worst months of the year. Sometimes you had even emergency weather warnings, that people have to stay home. And that was actually the best time to sell because everybody's home. Yeah. So you know that if you knock, everybody will be there. That was a good time. But after 3 months, I left.
Were you in the acting at the same time? How did that work?
No, I did acting before that.
Okay.
I landed this job. So I was basically, as soon as I arrived in Canada, I decided that I want to do real estate. Okay. And while I was studying for real estate, I was doing acting on the side.
Got it.
Just to support myself in a way.
Is it difficult to do acting here? How do you get into the freaking acting here? How does this work? I mean, you came from Russia, right? Or from Azerbaijan, and how do you become a background actor like that?
Actually, it was just a coincidence. I met a friend. My friend, she has a startup here. It's based on AI, artificial intelligence. And one of her programmers, he told, while we were testing the product, because we were immigrants, we were part of the target market for that product. We were testing them, giving our feedback, and we met with her programmer. And this guy was like, I've done acting in these movies, and while I was studying for programming in bootcamp. And I was like, how did you do that? And he told me all the information about it. So I took the contacts, and I basically went in. It's a agency, talent agency, and you go in there, they take your photos, and that's it. You're on you're in their database. So as soon as there's a production, they will reach out to people with certain look, and they would invite you to come over, be part of the show. And then there you are. So that's how I was doing that.
That's so cool, man. What kind of look do you have? What do you think? What do they thought of you?
At that time, I had longer hair. And so I think it was... I could have used it in different ways. I could have made it long, could have made it short. So it was for my advantage, right? So, nice. But then but that job, I mean, is not really a fun job, It's
not fun.
It's not. At first, you feel like it's cool, you're just getting paid to be filmed. But then you know that you are not the acting actors. You're just in the background, like you're an extra. So you're like extra, one of 100. yeah, you're like one of 100 people in the background, and nobody really cares about you, and so you don't feel like important, and that's why you feel like you're not learning anything from that job. That's just to make money. So
Uh-huh.
like you could work like, I don't know, in Starbucks, or you can be in the background for movies. It's similar thing, right? So
Got it.
you're not going to grow or develop.
Yeah, it's funny.
Uh,
It's like not only you don't feel important, but as working as an extra, there is like a possibility that you might think you're not important. Like it's gonna like intensify because everyone's like the whole crew is around like the acting, the acting, real acting crew,
yeah,
and I don't know, but wow, that's what I was surprised when you said that in your video. Like, oh, I'm now in the movies. Like you can see me on suits. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how is this guy doing this? But
yeah,
anyways,
exactly.
I just wanted to talk about that. But you said you were doing your sales and then you left the job after 3 months.
Exactly. So
Why?
why
Why? What did you do? What happened
so
next?
I got a better job. So it was also in sales,
Uh huh.
and I joined British American Tobacco, or Imperial Tobacco, how they call it here in Canada.
Oh,
And
nice.
this is a big cigarette company.
Uh huh.
They own most of the market here,
Uh
and they
huh.
have a lot of famous brands for cigarettes. Anything you see in the store, like 50% belongs to this company.
Hmm.
Also, electronic cigarettes and other things as well. So
Hmm.
they gave me a territory in the downtown to manage. So I
Hmm.
had stores where I was increasing the sales. That's what I did. I joined that company. I had a much higher salary.
Hmm.
My incentives were less on the sales now, but more as a fixed salary. It was almost twice higher than what I was making in Bell.
Hmm.
So that's why it was, for me, it was more like, I would say, less challenging,
Yeah.
because I don't have to physically walk.
Uh
They're
huh.
giving me a car, they're giving me insurance, they're giving me good
Nice.
salary, plus they're giving me a bonus if my territory performs, right?
Uh huh.
But that bonus is a small percentage of the salary. It's not
Uh huh.
as in Bell, where it was maybe my commission would be maybe 80% of my earnings. So in this company, it was the
Right.
opposite. It was maybe 20%
Uh huh.
on top of my salary. So it's basically account management job. It's not
Uh huh.
like sales. I would say it's more like account management, because you're not actually selling anything new. These guys were buying this product regardless. They have their customers. Yes, you do make some kind of programs where you compete with your competitors.
Hmm.
You make some like $1 off 2 packs. You incentivize the sellers to sell your product instead of
Hmm.
the competitors.
Hmm.
Plus, with electronics vaping category, there is no restrictions at that time, so you can
Hmm.
market it as much as you can.
Hmm.
So there is a real multi-category approach there. So basically, yes, that's what I was doing.
So
In
that sounds like a really, great position, in terms of like job market and all. And so by the time you got this job, how long have you been in Canada?
So it's been maybe I would say 6 7 months.
Wow, that's great. I feel like
Yeah.
every potential immigrant needs to hear that story because we hear a lot of like I'm when before I went to Canada, I went to Quora, and asking like, hey, like how's the job market, and all you can see is people complaining, saying like, hey, it's not as easy as you think it is. You're gonna be without a job. It's going to be like very hard and all of that. But here I am talking to you, and yeah, it sounds like things went well for you within the first year, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was a very good year. At first it was difficult. I even I got I applied even to Starbucks to work as a barista at
Hmm.
one point, and I got rejected from 14 Starbucks locations, and they said I was not qualified
Hmm.
to be a barista. I was like, come on, what? How hard it is, to
Right.
make coffee.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, I can do that, right? I mean, I
Hmm.
make great coffee at home, so
Well, I think you know what it is. They're probably like looking like, okay, this guy's highly qualified, overqualified for the job. He has this background in all the different companies. He's probably gonna just earn some cash here, and like he will leave within a month. And I think that's their main motivation, is that they want
Maybe they thought like that, but yeah, at least they could have benefited during that few months that I would work there.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I
agree.
would bring some positive change, and I wouldn't just sit around. I'd probably do something different.
Yeah, no, completely. It's funny because I'm always thinking like, oh, like, if I'm getting rejected from a company, I'm like, you guys don't even know what you missed out on. 'Cause-
Exactly.
yeah. But anyway, so how long have you been working at the company?
So over there, I worked for 6-7 months, I believe.
Uh-huh.
So what happened at the end is that I actually had few traffic accidents in the car that they were giving me. Yeah, so I got in trouble for that. They
What
gave
the
me
hell? What happened, man?
I actually never drove a car before coming to Canada. So for
Jesus
me, that
Christ.
was, yeah. And I mean, imagine you're managing a territory in the downtown, and traffic is crazy, right? So you have to drive probably like maybe 6 out of 8 hours. You're like
Uh-huh.
driving somewhere,
Uh-huh.
and from store to store, because you don't have an office. You're on the street. Your office is your car. You have your printer, your laptop. It's connected wirelessly to the internet. You're
Yeah.
working in your car,
Yeah.
right? And then you have 100 stores you have to visit.
Uh-huh.
Every day I would go in and maybe visit 20, 30 stores. So yeah, at one point it was a trade visit and we were just driving everywhere, and I was tired, I guess. And when I
Uh-huh.
was turning, I bumped into the sidewalk and they scratched basically the back side of the car, the side of the car. And it was like a costly repair for the
Mhm.
company. So they told me, okay, it's the first time, it's fine, it's okay, no
Uh-huh.
problems. And then a month later, I got another issue. I bumped the car inside the parking lot, because underground parking lot.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty narrow, and I was on the phone with my manager, and again that happened. And then after the second time, they gave me a written warning saying that, look, it's too many times. Like, it's already
Uh-huh.
second time in less than a few months.
Uh-huh.
You have to be more careful about how you
Right.
drive, because
Right.
can lead to serious consequences, right?
Right. Right.
And then I had another accident. I mean, it wasn't an accident. I got a speeding ticket. So that was basically it. That was it.
Uh-huh.
Even though my performance was great,
Uh-huh.
my territory performed better than any other territory in terms of the growth of the vaping category, and both the new brand we were introducing, Marlboro in Canada. So my
Mhm.
territory grew the highest market share in that. Regardless of that,
That's crazy,
I
man.
was basically I got laid off. So
Damn.
yeah, that was unfortunate, but it is what it is. What I'm gonna do is, why wouldn't I share it? It's just bad luck.
Yeah.
After that, I was still at I had still a G2 license at that time.
Uh-huh.
After that, I improved my driving a lot. I got G full license.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm a much better driver. And if I would go in again, I would not make that driving mistakes. But I mean,
Right.
it is what it is, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to immigrate to Canada, make sure that you know how to drive. Just a public service announcement from Samir and Samir.
Yes, that's
Anyways,
true.
so what happened afterwards, man?
So after that, I just went back to where I started first when I just came into Canada.
Mhm.
So my goal was to become a real estate agent and be in real estate sales.
Mhm.
So I had my license, which I received prior to joining Bell.
Mhm.
And then, I joined this Bell and tobacco company, and I never actually pursued the real estate.
Mhm.
The first idea that I had when I came to Canada, so that was my actual biggest goal. So I believe that, actually this put me on the right path
Mhm.
to where I should be. So I think it was a good thing that it
Good
happened.
experience, yeah.
Good experience that it happened the way it happened, because
Mhm.
I never actually enjoyed that corporate culture,
Mhm.
because it's so fake. You have all
Mhm.
these trade visits, you have all these things that
Mhm.
you show to the bosses of the company, like,
Mhm.
oh, the store looks great, and You go and then you do merchandising, and you're getting paid a lot of money to put cigarettes in one place. But I mean, at the end of the day, you don't learn. You don't feel like you've done a great job.
Hmm.
You're not proud of yourself. You're not like you
Hmm.
feel, oh, you know what? I changed the world. You know, what did you
Right.
do? You sold another pack of cigarettes. You know, I mean, it's. I did not feel that inner.
Relationship wise, it's not the best product to sell to people. Cigarettes.
Exactly, exactly. It's not the best product to sell, and also I did not feel that I am helping somebody because a lot of stores were unhappy with the way this company was working
Hmm.
and the history that it had with people. So
Hmm.
I wasn't even feeling that I'm helping businesses because I was limited to what I can help them with.
Hmm.
I mean, my idea was I can help smaller businesses to grow and help them develop. So it wasn't about selling cigarettes. For me, it was bigger thing. Even that was challenging to do in this environment, though,
Hmm.
because the corporate greed is there, you know, and a lot of ridiculous things. So
Hmm.
that's why I never felt happy
Hmm.
at that job, and I always wanted to leave it.
Hmm.
And I knew that I'm not going to be stuck there forever. I knew that it's a next step for me. I'll move somewhere else.
Hmm.
So, and this just happened, you know, in the right time. So, I was able to pursue real estate.
Hmm.
And real estate. Now I'm in real estate. First, I joined a company called Square Yards. It's a startup, Indian startup.
Hmm.
It's similar. So the idea is that they have a salary structure, the
Hmm.
basic base salary, plus they're giving you commissions of the sales. So I
Hmm.
learned real estate while working there, and I've done a lot of sales in many different projects. They focus mostly on pre-construction condos. So
Hmm.
pre-constructions are the ones that haven't been built yet. So
Right.
it's yeah,
So basically, they sell you a condominium before it's been built for a cheaper price.
exactly.
Okay.
And not just the cheaper price, there's also other incentives. So
Uh-huh.
look, let's say you have a stable job and you have some kind of income coming in, and you don't have enough to put a down payment to buy a house, but you do have enough to pay maybe a couple thousands every month, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So what do you do with that money? You either save it and
Hmm.
then you buy,
Hmm.
or you can buy already and lock down the today's price for future,
Hmm.
right? So by the time it's finished, you already paid the down payment,
Hmm.
right? You paid the 20% down payment in the next, let's say, 3 years. After 3 years, the building is brand new, it's built. It already costs a lot more than what you bought it for because you locked down the price at the 3 years ago at a different price.
But the price of the unbuilt condominium, so it's not like at a discount. It's just the price. Like right now, let's say you can buy a condo today for like $500,000, or you can buy unbuilt condo for $500,000. And by the
Yeah,
time it's going to be built, it's going to be $600,000. So that's the
exactly.
trade-off here. It's not that you're actually getting it for 300,000 or something.
Uh, yes, that's one thing. But look at it this way: that 3 years from now, you'll
Hmm.
be moving into a brand new condo. So what
Right.
it means is that your maintenance costs will be very low.
Right.
Right now, if you buy something at $500,000, it probably will be an older building.
Yeah,
It
trashy. You
needs
have to rebuild it, renovate, all of that.
exactly, and you have to, and the maintenance fees are already going to be much higher because
Uh-huh.
every year the maintenance fee goes up. So when
Right.
it's a brand new building, you still have warranty.
Hmm.
Your maintenance fee will be low for the next few years at least,
Hmm.
right? And also, you benefited from the down payment structure, right? So
Hmm.
you did not put that money right away. There's
Hmm.
time value of money, right? So
Hmm.
you slowly paid that 20% instead of putting them right now.
Oh,
So
okay.
it
So if you're doing the pre-construction down payment, you're
yes,
just paying it little by little.
exactly, exactly.
Oh,
So
cool, cool.
so look at it this way. Imagine you have like $200,000, right?
Yeah,
So you can put that 200,000 and buy one place or two places,
yeah,
or you can buy 6, 7 pre-construction condos.
yeah.
And after 3, 4 years, when these condos are built,
Mhm,
you can sell them. You can sell half of them
mhm.
and take the difference, the profit,
Yeah.
right? And then you'll have that few condos left for free
Mhm,
because you'll make so much profit from selling those that it'll pay for the other ones. So it's obviously, you have to look at it in a way that it's an investment. So it might make more sense to keep renting and invest in few pre-constructions, right? So down the road, when the time comes, you can always assign the condo. Assignment means selling it before it's finished.
Oh, okay.
So you can sell the condo and profit. Let's say you bought it at 500,000, you put maybe 10% down, and now you're selling it 2 years later, and it's already 650. So you made 150,000, plus you get your deposit back, and then somebody else closes it. They pay the remaining 10%, and they take the mortgage for the remaining 80%. So that's basically the idea with pre-construction. It's I believe in pre-construction market. So that's why I decided to do that.
That sounds interesting. And when they build a brand new condo, like what does it look inside? Like how does it look inside? Like what's inside? Do they have like a kitchen and the refrigerator? What's included?
Exactly. It's move-in ready. So you have all the appliances. So refrigerator, kitchen. You have the washer, dryer,
and it's included in the price. Right
Everything
away.
is included. Yeah, it's all included. You have the floors, doors, windows, everything, all of that. So all of that is basically will be included in there.
Damn, that sounds interesting. Okay, and so you're working there right now, or you said it like as like a startup. What did the startup do?
So this Square Yards, what they did is that we were calling people who were interested in pre-construction condos, and then finding the right condo, and then selling them this condos, right? So that's basically real estate sales. But the idea is that you have their salary, so they're paying me salary, and they're the ones who are keeping the commission. But I have the security of the salary. So while I was working there, I learned a lot about pre-construction market, and I was able to sell a lot of condos. I think I sold like 8 or 9 condos in 3 months.
Yeah, I saw you on Instagram, like freaking hustling there.
I did a lot of sales, man. So that's why after I learned the market, I was like, why am I don't need the fixed salary. I want to make the commission. I'm okay. Not being safe. I want to take care of myself. So, and you know, there's a saying that nobody will pay you as much as you're worth. Because you will pay yourself that, right? So that's why it doesn't make sense. Instead of I can when I'm on my own, I can offer. I can manage my time the way I want to, and then focus on the projects that I feel are the best for me, and where I will be more successful. So there's no point when you're in a company, you know, they have this check-in, check-out structure. You have to put your fingerprint when you come in, when you go out. It's like feels like you're in an army. It's like I didn't like that. So basically, now I own my own. I am part of 10th Century 21 Connect, and I'm.
So what is like? What are you? Are you like a real estate agent now? How does this work?
Yes, I am a real estate agent. I opened my own website. It's scondos.ca.
Oh, so that's your personal company. That's your own website.
Exactly.
Oh, nice, man. Okay, I'm gonna put that website right under your name then.
Perfect. Yeah, do it. So I have my website. I have all the connections to the real estate market, to the different developers, and the company I joined now. They have also very good connections, and we always have the first access for different projects. So anything that's on the market, we're the first ones to get a hold of those units. So in my previous company, the company would say that we had access when we call some people, but actually we didn't, right? And in this company where I'm now, it's just portraying information a different way, but
that's how you say it.
Well, how it works is that, you know, at the end of the day, everybody gets access to this project. So when you say I have access, and by the time you actually meet the client, you take them there, you might actually have access to that project.
I feel you.
But at the time you don't. And here you have, in order to get access, you have to have previous sales for that developer. So if you sold a lot of units, let's say you sold 100 units for one developer, next time they're launching a project, you're the first ones to receive allocation of units. So you receive,
because You're providing returns for them. You sell stuff.
Exactly. So they're giving you 30 units, let's say,
Uh-huh.
and only you can sell those 30 units, nobody else.
Nice.
So those units are locked down, and only your customers basically can receive those units. And that's what we do here. We have access to most of the developers in the GTA area, and they're giving us units based on our previous performance, and we're selling those units. And the good thing is that when you're buying at the first stage, there's always the price is always much better.
Yeah.
So they might launch at, let's say, 500,000, and 2 weeks later it's already 520.
Right.
Another week it's 540, then it's 560, and then it's sold out. There's nothing left, right? So these projects, the pre-construction projects, they sell out very quickly, and a lot of people, they have to make a decision before seeing the
I know, I see the freaking lines, like people are lining up, like everyone's crazy about this real estate here in Toronto, and like there's gigantic lines. I see all this picture, and I'll be honest with you, it freaks me out, man. Like, because when I see people like in panic mode trying to like dump 500,000 in somewhere, well, like 500, but like the down payment, like sign something for like that is not even built, and you haven't even seen the pictures, like where your window's gonna look like, it's a little crazy. But that's, I guess, the thing is here is it's working, I guess, you know. And I'm going to talk to you about coronavirus and how it affected and all of that. But for now, like I talked to a lot of people, and everyone's telling me like, yeah, man, that's because the market is so hot. And I'll let you talk more about it. But they basically, and I went to a couple of seminars or like meetups, you know, because I was interested in real estate before back in the United States. And the thing about Toronto is that it's growing and growing, and people are coming. People like you and me, the immigrants, we're coming and coming and coming, and we're getting our jobs, having our money, like we're ready to buy, and that's pretty much why the market is so hot. So talk to me more about it. Like, what's with the whole freaking panic buying in terms of like everyone's so excited about buying real estate here? Aren't everyone a little bit scared or like have the memory of 2007, 2008 financial crisis? Like, what's happening here?
Well, you know, if you look in 2008, 2007 years in Canada, there's no actual crisis in Canada. So the market did slow down for a year, but that was like higher. In the next year, it was already higher than it was in the previous year. So the market in Canada is a little different. I would say very different from other places, because the main driver of the market here is actual demand. It's not the transactions where you have people buying and selling, so the price increases as a bubble. Here you have an actual demand. So you have people coming into Canada through this immigration programs, the federal programs that I came in, you came in, and a lot of other people came in with the same programs. And when they come to Canada, where do you think they're gonna go? First of all, if you look, Quebec is they have their own program, so you exclude Quebec right from the beginning. Then you have other bigger cities left, which are Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, and that's it. Pretty much that's three biggest cities, right? So if you look at and there's certain aspects about each one of these cities. Vancouver is mostly, they have a lot of people from the Asian countries coming in, and they're good for entertainment. Entertainment, you know, they shoot Hollywood. A lot of movies there, and then Calgary is oil and gas, and then you have Toronto. Toronto is the biggest one of all three, so that's why most people, they end up in Toronto in the GTA area. So around 70% of all the immigrants, they end up here. So when they come here, obviously they have to have a place to stay, and that's where the rent comes in. So like you went in and you rented a place, and now there'll be thousands of more people coming in. But the rate at which the buildings are being built cannot match the rate at which people are coming. Right now, you have thousands of people entering every year, 300,000 every single year.
300,000 people to like where? To Toronto or to Canada?
To Canada, and 70% of that is in the GTA. Ontario. So you're looking at, let's say, 200,000 people in Ontario, right? Damn. So where they are going to stay, there's not enough space. There's not enough condos. So that's the market is driven by actual demand. It's not like, oh, you know what? It's a bubble. I'm not gonna buy. Okay, you're going to rent. What are you going to rent? Like in order for you to rent, somebody has to buy that unit
Mm-hmm.
and add their margin and then make the profit and then rent it out to you. So
Mm-hmm.
you're still paying for that real estate. You're just paying somebody else's mortgage. It's not like somebody is going to
Look
buy
at
a
you, Mr.
place.
Salesman. You already sold me, man.
I mean, it's not like you're buying a place, you're mortgaging it out and then you're going to give it below
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
Plus, you have the capital appreciation down the
yeah,
road, right? So
yeah.
somebody's paying your rent and your mortgage, and then plus your capital appreciates. So it makes a lot of sense to buy at this in this market. Of course, that was the case before this COVID-19
So
happened.
talk to me about this. Like, okay, obviously we're in this crisis right now. We're currently recording. It's April 10th right now. We are pretty much a month into this quarantine, and I'm trying to like figure this out with real estate. Like, because my first thought is like, okay, like probably real estate will collapse because of the whole financial thing, and that's where I'm gonna like get into this market and get everything for cheap. But I don't see any information supporting it. People that I follow, they don't actually confirm that. So what exactly is happening in terms of, like, in your opinion, and on the Canadian market in Toronto?
So first, I like actual numbers. So that's why that's where the truth lies.
Yeah.
So if you look at actual numbers, so I pulled up some of the numbers here on my screen. So if you look at the number of units sold in March, you had actually a year ago you had 7,000 units sold. Now you have 8,000. So you have more than 12% increase in sales.
Yeah,
just
but that's
in March alone.
Yeah, but that's numbers that are still haven't priced in the virus, though, right?
Exactly. So that's actually a good point, because the first 2 weeks of March, if you look year-on-year growth compared to the first 2 weeks of March last year, it was 49% up.
Damn.
And if you look at the last 2 weeks of March, they went down 16%. So what it means is that the market stopped in the middle of March.
Right.
So actually the April numbers will make the much more sense.
Right.
Because in April, we are going to see where the market stands right now. So what happened is open houses were prohibited. So you cannot make open houses anymore. So basically that limits a lot of opportunities for people to go and see before they make a commitment, such as buying a house. A lot of people started doing the digital ways. You can do an virtual open house and all of that, but still when you're buying something,
I mean, who cares, right?
That,
it's you're not, if you want to see the place and then they're going to show you like a video of it, you're not going to be too convinced. So yeah, that's a factor.
Exactly, that is a factor. So another thing is that you can still schedule an appointment and go see the place. You just cannot make an open house. Open house is when anybody can walk in and then see it. But when you make an appointment, you can still go see the place. So right now, actually, what I see happening is, because of these restrictions, because of the COVID-19, because a lot of people lost their jobs, and economy is basically shut down. You can say that. Most companies are stopped working. The activity will decrease 100%. The activity is going to decrease.
So what does it mean then?
It means that
here's what I'm interested in. Okay, activity will go down, but will the freaking price of real estate go down or not? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure this out.
So you might have some cases when you will have some people selling their properties and they will only receive one offer and they will accept that offer. Previously, that was not the case, right? So it was a competition for the property. So there was a bidding war. So if you go in, the property is priced at, let's say, 500,000, it would end up selling at 600 because people would try to outbid each other.
Yeah, I heard those stories too, especially for like single family like houses and all. Yeah.
So right now you might have cases where you wouldn't see a lot of multiple offer situations. So in that case, it's better for the buyer, because imagine that he was going to spend more money than the advertised price in order to secure the unit, because he was ready to go into the bidding war.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when you don't have that bidding war,
Mm-hmm.
means you are going to save that money and
Extra
not
cash.
spend it,
Yeah.
right? So that looks as a discount to, it looks like the price is not increasing because you were expecting to spend 600, now you're going to spend 500 because nobody else is bidding on that property,
Mm. You
right?
know, it kind of sounds like instead of a price appreciation, like in terms of like the real estate market goes up and up and up, it sounds like it might not go up anymore, but it won't go down either. It's just gonna stabilize and sort of be on the same level on the like a straight curve. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I predict. And the idea is demand did not go anywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
those people who are coming to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
they're still coming. The immigration
Well,
program
that's the
did
point.
not stop.
Hold on, they're not coming anymore. That's the thing. Like they closed those whole thing. They canceled the whole program. Like they didn't cancel, but they postponed it, and they're not letting anyone in right now. What do you think?
Uh,
What do you
okay.
think? How does that? Well, and let's assume they will probably let them in. I would say in May, June, they're probably going to let people in. So, but we still will have that window. Will that window affect the real estate because the demand will have sort of like stagnate by like 2 months or something? What do you think?
It can only affect it in the short term. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why if you want to use the opportunity right now before that does affect,
Mm-hmm.
it's right now before you see the multiple offers, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's even now a lot of sellers are discouraged from selling. So
You
you'll
think?
have
Okay.
a lot of you'll have much less listings in the months to come. You'll see much less people selling because why would they list now when they see that they wouldn't be expecting multiple offer cases? They can
Mm-hmm.
just wait out this crisis and
Mm-hmm.
then list later. Why
Mm-hmm.
would they list it now, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you still have some desperate people who want to list now
Mm-hmm.
because the spring market is here, and all those people who are waiting till spring to buy,
Right.
they're all eager to buy, and they're still in the market. They want to buy, but their situation might have changed now because of the crisis. The
Mm-hmm.
salaries might have gone down. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, look, the government here is also supporting the people who have mortgages. So you can get up to 6 months deferral in your payments,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no penalties involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
The evictions have been halted, so you cannot
Mm-hmm.
evict anyone
I
before
had a
this
feeling you
crisis.
don't you can never evict anyone in Canada. That's kind of like the sentiment that I'm getting.
People here are very protected. The tenants are very protected. So
Right.
it's because you own the unit, you have rights for that unit when you're renting it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very hard to evict anyone, anyways. But now it's even harder. So now you can't even do it physically.
Right. Right.
So basically, what it means is that people are not getting evicted.
Mm-hmm.
Banks are not closing out and not calling the mortgages to defaults on mortgages, even if
Mm-hmm.
you're not paying the mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why would the crisis happen now when this is taking place?
Mm-hmm.
It would only make sense if this would continue for a very long term,
Mm-hmm.
and government would stop subsidizing banks for mortgages.
Right.
Then banks would call all the defaults for mortgages for people who are not paying them.
Mm-hmm.
And that would create a huge increase in supply because the banks would then list those properties at a discount.
Mm-hmm.
And that would lead to a crash in the real estate market. But in order for that to happen, this virus has to be, this situation has to be taking place for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think it's going to happen because they're already working on this vaccines, and a lot of people are already who were sick and they're getting better. So those
Mm-hmm.
people are already immune to the virus. They can start working again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no risk for them to get sick second time because they already have the antibodies for this virus in their blood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually one way to treat people, to use the antibodies.
Right. Right. Well, let's. I mean, at this point, we're just guessing, right? But let's hope that
Yeah,
we're gonna go through this really quickly as soon as possible, so everyone can go back to work and the market
exactly.
can start accelerating. But okay, so let's just summarize this then, like, because I'm actually talking to you. I'm using this podcast is like using you for like this free consultation advice, basically. What should I do right now? Like, I think I can pretty much do the whole whatever thing, like the pre-construction thing right now if I want to. But if you're like, if we're gonna like log off this podcast right now, and I'm like gonna start recording, and I'm gonna be, all right, Samir, real talk, like, what's the situation? What should I do? Like, tell me exactly, like,
Yeah.
what should I do? Because we're friends, we're buddies. Like, tell me, like, what would you tell
Yeah.
me?
So basically, I would assess your situation in terms of your savings, in terms of your income. What are you comfortable doing with? Because there's no answer for one answer that applies to everyone, right? So everybody's situation is different. So your cash flows are different, your savings are different, your goals are different, your plans are different. So all of that has to be taken into account. So you can't just say that everybody should go and buy now. Everybody should buy pre-construction. No, that's not the case. That's not the answer. So some people shouldn't buy now. Some people should buy now. So it all depends. Let's say a situation where somebody has enough savings and their job, they're not laid off. They're still continuing to receive their salaries. They're working from home with their laptops.
Right.
So in that case, they did not get affected by this virus, right? So why would they suffer from this situation? They should use this to their advantage, right? And
well,
what's their advantage?
Well, the point is, right, let's say you're qualified and you're good to go. The point is there, he's like, okay, well, now I want to pay less. Like, is there an opportunity for me to pay less? And for example, what we just discussed, does this mean, like, since everyone's kind of weird and, there's no bidding war, should I just like get in the market right now and do it right now, or should I just wait it out? So that's like for people who can afford it, for example, well, like, what's the...
So one thing is certain is that right now you will have much less competition in the market for bidding wars. What will happen later is unknown. So it's always better to know with what you know. So right now, the fact is you will face less competition. That's the fact. So making a decision based on the fact that right now you're facing less competition than 2 months ago is already a great idea for you to go and buy now. Right? But if you want to risk and see, you can always wait. But I wouldn't suggest that, because you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe tomorrow they're going to find this vaccine and people will start going back to work. Maybe something else will happen. So you can't bet on the unknown. If you're going to bet on the unknown, you're facing with higher risk. So my suggestion is, if you have steady cash flows, if you're not laid off from work and you were planning to buy anyways, why would you wait for longer? And because there will be more people coming into this country, there will be higher demand. The situation will go only it will only improve from now. We're already in the lowest point. So you see that this social distancing is already working. It's already taking effect. You have less and less people getting sick. You have more people getting better. So because of that,
but again, I just, because I would like to be really cautious about talking about the virus, and because people are still dying, we don't know how it's going to turn out right now. So
exactly.
I would if I would talk about this, I would just say, like, we don't know whether the situation is going to get better or worse. Right now, we're seeing, based on the news, we're seeing positive trends in terms of how this whole thing's being handled. But again, the future is so unpredictable. So so it's like everyone should kind of, I guess, act on its own risk, on their own risk.
Yeah, no, of course, and everybody's views are different. Everybody's expectations are different. So obviously, you can't say that 100% it's going to get better in a few months. We won't have this, right? So we cannot say that, right? So obviously there is a possibility that it can get worse or it can get even better than this, but we don't know that. So it's better to make decisions based on what we do know. And what we do know is that right now you'd face less competition if you buy. So that for me would be a trigger to buy. Again, if you are not in a situation where you've been laid off, right? Because then I wouldn't suggest you to make that decision.
Real quick, I know there's some sort of a 5% down payment opportunity. Me sort of spending so much time in America, it was always like there was some sort of first-time buyer, down payment thing. But like, what is this 5%? Like, usually it's like, 20% down for the down payment to get like a condo or a house here. People are like telling me on this thing, like, oh, you can actually put 5% down instead of 20% down. Can you talk a little bit about that? I just want everyone to know about it.
100%. So basically with this first-time home buyer program.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so it's a first-time home buyer program. If you don't own a real estate anywhere in the world,
Mhm.
you can apply for this program.
In the
And
world or in
yes,
Canada?
no, anywhere in the world.
So that's important for everyone to hear, especially if you're coming to Canada, you
Yeah,
want to buy property.
yeah. So if you're doing that, then maybe if it's on your parents' names or in your relatives' names, not on your direct name, then it's fine. But if it's you're on the title for that property, you'd have to report that you're owner of that property. So you're
Mhm.
technically not a first-time home buyer.
Mhm.
Uh, it doesn't say first-time home buyer in Canada. It's a first-time home buyer.
Mhm.
So you're not a first-time home buyer. In that case, you would need to put the full down payment. But if you're buying it the first time, of course, there's two ways you can do it. You can do this. First one is you're going to pay 5% or up to 20%, any bracket, right? And then the remaining percentage, you'll have to get insurance on that amount.
Right.
So there is a insurance program.
So what does that? Yeah, please explain what does this mean?
So there's an insurance program that will in case of a default, in
Mhm.
case you cannot pay your mortgage and you'll default on that property,
Mhm.
the bank needs to be insured
Mhm.
because it's a high risk investment for a bank to give you a mortgage at such kind of down payment.
Mhm.
5% is a very high risk.
Mhm.
So because of that, you'd need to insure your mortgage
Mhm.
through there's a company that will insure this. FHCMC, something like that. So there's a company that will basically insure this,
Mhm.
and that amount of insurance can be, $30,000, $40,000, and
Mhm.
that insurance will be added to your principal amount of your
Mhm.
mortgage,
Mhm.
and you'll pay this throughout your term of your loan.
Is it how bad is it with the insurance one? How like
I wouldn't suggest doing the insurance. If you have the down payment, if you can put more money into down payment, you should do that because that amount translates into a big amount because you're also paying interest on that
right, right,
down.
and it
Yeah,
appreciates and plus the time
yeah,
value of money. Okay, so let's just
exactly.
summarize that. There's this thing if you can't afford or if you don't want to pay 20% and you are the first time home buyer,
Yes,
you can do a down payment as low as 5%, but you have to also have this down payment insured. But that means that you're also going to pay that insurance and it's going to like accumulate and basically you're going to end up like more money. It's going to cost you.
exactly.
So
And
here's my
there's a second way though. There's a second way. So the
okay.
second way is there is now a program where the government comes in and they buy the property along with you. So they say that they will be owning equity in your property. So
Hello. That's a very socialistic kind of thing, but okay,
it
go.
is, it is, it
Let's
is
talk about it. I haven't heard about it before. Okay, I'm
exactly.
intrigued.
So that's actually this new program that they introduced. So the government comes in and they say, you know what, you're paying 10%, we're going to pay another 10%.
Uh-huh.
So together we own 20% of this property. So we own 10% of this property
Uh-huh.
forever. So in future, let's say when you sell that property, you bought it
Uh-huh.
for 500,000, and we are the 10% owner. So we put $50,000 into this.
Right.
And then when you sell it for $1 million, we also will take 10% of that $1 million.
Got it.
But
Huh.
we are not going to charge you interest on our equity.
Got
So
it.
you don't have to take the mortgage insurance.
Uh-huh.
So you don't have to take the mortgage default insurance. You're using
Right.
our money as your equity to balance for that 20%,
Okay,
right?
now tell me about the risks. Can the government kick my door out and say, "Get the hell out of here"? Like, what's
Uh, no, I mean, the risks here are that, again, if you default on your property,
Mhm.
you don't pay it, and let's say your property value goes down,
Mhm.
you'll be liable for the government's initial amount of investment.
Oh.
Along with that, even if the property value goes down, let's say 10%, means now you owe the government more than 10% because their 10% from the purchase price was a higher net amount than what it is now.
Right.
You still owe the government. And if it goes up, they take the positive. If it goes down,
because I don't know, I'm just a little tired maybe, but I want our listeners to understand that risk. So give me an example, real life example. Let's say I bought a property, use the government thingy. They pay, let's do 500,000 because that's the number that people in Canada in Toronto use.
Yeah.
Let's say, okay, so the down payment is what, 100,000, right?
Yeah.
That's fair to say. Okay, and so I'll say, hey, government, Trudeau, Justin, you pay 50,000. I'm just kidding. Just the government of Canada, right? You do this whole thing.
Exactly.
You do 50,000, I do 50,000. Boom. Then coronavirus hits. Everyone, it's economically it's even worse than we expected, and the property is now freaking 400,000, right? And you sold it for 400,000. What's happening now?
You still owe the government $50,000 that they initially invested. Yeah, but if let's say the property goes to 1 million, now you owe the government 100,000.
Right.
So that's the outcome here. See, if it's going down, they still want their investment covered. If it goes up, they want a piece of the pie.
Right. Got it.
Of the increase. So it makes sense because like if they're helping you, right, and they're giving you interest-free money.
I know it's all cool, but like it's just so funny that the government does it for you. It's just like, ugh. It's like
it's very. That's why it's a great country. That's why you have so many people coming in here. Like anywhere else wouldn't be possible. Like people would not give you free money, and this is free money. And it's amazing program. I really love this program.
How long has it been around?
They just launched it a few months ago, so you can already go ahead and buy now with this program. Yeah,
bro, I need to look into this.
Yeah,
this is some bananas thing. Like, are they Canadians? Like, were they the first government to come up with this?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's probably some other cases. Maybe we should look at Sweden or some other countries which have the social programs. Yeah. Probably they have something similar somewhere else as well.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
But then I guess that's like, and then like, okay, so let's now talk about how about screw the whole 5% and screw the government help. I want to do everything on my own. Tell me about the benefits of doing that on your own. And, I sort of understand it, but I want to make sure that everyone who is listening understands, whether it's worth to, go in this deal with the government, or if you can afford it on yourself, for yourself, like to do that. And then like, tell me like, why would you do that with the government or with the 5%, even though you can afford it by yourself? I'm basically, giving you a setup for saying like, hey, you can buy like 5 properties instead of 1, but you take the floor from here.
So here's the thing. That's for the first time buyer. So you cannot.
Oh, the government thing for the first time. Also.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so
okay, got it. Okay, cool.
You can't use them as an investment vehicle and then make money with this.
See,
right?
my gears are already spinning here.
Yeah. So you can only use it for the first property, and then down the line, if you're planning to buy 5 or 6 properties, you can only do first one with this government program. The rest 4 you'd still have to do on your own. And the positive side again is the way you approach risk. If you want to diversify your risk and split it with the government, you can. If you want to do it on your own, you wouldn't have to pay the part of the pie when it grows, right? So you wouldn't need to pay that 10% back, because now that 10% is already 2 times valued 2 times more than when they invested it, right? And the property, if you go according to this growth of property values here in Canada, that would translate into a big number, in few years down the road, that property is going to cost much more.
So tell me, okay, real talk now, your opinion. Let's say you can afford just paying, 20% down payment by yourself, but then you think like, I need that cash, I want to do something. I want to invest like that 50,000 somewhere else. So I'm going to take government's money and do 50-50 with them on that 10 or whatever 20%. Would you do that, like you personally?
I think I would have.
I'm talking about opportunity cost here, right? I'm talking about like that other 50.
So I think in this market, I would have done it because of all these risks involved in the downturn and the COVID-19. I would have done that. And also, I would also look at the stock market, because right now you see a lot of companies that went down, and it would be a good idea maybe to buy some stocks at this point, right? So I would diversify my risk and split it into between real estate and the stock market. So in this specific case, I mean, in this specific situation.
That sounds like an interesting strategy.
Yeah, but I mean, down the road, if everything stabilizes, like if you'd asked me this question maybe 5-6 months ago, I would say, I would invest in the real estate, all of it. I would put all of it into real estate, because the stock market already was all-time high, and it was obviously people were predicting some kind of crash to happen, even without this COVID-19. So that's why, of course, at that point, I would be 100% real estate. But now, due to this virus, I would split it.
Interesting. Wow, man, I feel like a lot of people are going to learn something new about it, especially the ones who want to come to Canada, and especially the ones who are already here. Like this program with the whole 10%. The one thing, like I'll be honest with you, like I don't know, something doesn't sit right with me. We're thinking like 10% of my apartment belongs to the government. Like you never know what can, like, so whoever's listening and is getting excited right now and like, oh, like free money, blah blah blah. Like just think about it, because yes, I mean, you're just so like, oh, like that's why this country is great, because we're using, but at the same time, like that's government's money, that's taxpayers' money. First of all, like I don't know, depends on where you stand politically. I'm not saying anything about this here, but I'm just saying make sure that you understand that 10% of your property will be belonging to the government, and who knows what the government can pass in the future. Like it's just like a weird thing. Like would you rather just have like the whole 100% to yourself, or like live like for like 20 years thinking like this 10% of your house belongs to belongs not to you basically, and there's nothing you can do with it. By the way, can you do something? Can you like buy it out from the government afterwards?
I think you can buy it out, but at what price? Is it market price? Or I never actually had any situation where this would take place for now, but I think we will face this situation down the road, and I'll definitely involve a lawyer.
Just talk to your lawyer, like before you get all excited about that.
Exactly.
Really do your research. But as far as like an opportunity, especially when I talk about opportunity cost, like Samir just said, like invest 50% somewhere else, then definitely that's something to consider. Hey, I want to talk about you though. Like, what's your situation right now? Are you an owner of the condominium? Like, what's your strategy right now?
Right now, we did buy our own place. It's a condo townhouse. So we bought it already like a year ago.
Oh, nice! Congrats, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
I'm glad you said it, because I'm like, I'm gonna ask him whether he bought it, and he's like, no, I'm not buying. I'm like, he doesn't have any skin in the game. He's just preaching. Like, I'm glad that you're actually owning something, so that you can sort of
I'm all invested into this. So I'm all in this. So I suggest anyone to consider this, because in the long term, even looking 1 year from now, from when we bought, the property value is already much higher. So it obviously was a great decision. And please, I don't feel like I'm paying for somebody else's mortgage, and
exactly.
It makes me feel so much better.
Yeah, man, I was doing some calculation yesterday, and I was, I compared my rent versus what I would be paying, like, for myself. I'm not even talking like, let's buy a property and put in tenants there. I just want thinking like, I just want to do like pay for my own apartment, so at the end of the day, I can have that equity. And like, I'm not sure if I want to rent like in the future. So it kind of depends. We'll see how the things are going to work out, but I'm really considering right now, like, maybe it makes more sense to own something and just spend the same exact money towards your personal mortgage, and then maybe like rent it out in the future. That's cool, man.
You should also think about the costs. Apart from mortgage, you will also have maintenance fees, which you're not paying now. Plus you'll have property taxes, which you're not paying right now, right? So all of that, and your mortgage payment, 50% of that will be interest payment. So 50% is the equity. So you should really focus on the numbers when you're making these decisions. And yes, if you take into account the capital appreciation, it will make sense. But if you just take the cash flow, you might not end up in a better place where you are now, because you don't have all those costs associated with owning your property right now. I mean, renting your property right now.
Give me some speculative number. So let's say I want to do a pre-construction. First of all, my first question: how long is it going to take from when you sell it to me to the point where I can actually get into the door and sleep there?
Mm-hmm. So it all depends on the property. There are projects which are coming next year. There are projects coming in December this year, and there are projects coming in 2024, right? Mm-hmm. So there are all kinds of projects. So it all depends on what you're looking for.
Well, I don't know, man. Just give me I'm just thinking okay, I want to do this decision, right? By the end of this year, towards let's say towards November. What is it right now? April? May, June. Yeah, like in September, August, I want to pull the trigger, right, on the pre-construction.
Yeah.
And I'm calling you out. I was like, yo, I'm ready, man. Let's do this. And you give me some pricings on all of that. And mm-hmm. On the average, how long should I wait if I'm gonna find a really good deal in a good spot and all of that?
Well, if you're looking for a good deal, that would be in the early stage of the launch.
Right.
Usually how it happens is that it's at least 3 years from mm-hmm. the time it's launched to the time you're going to get the keys.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you'll be in that early stage, if the project just got launched, mm-hmm. It's the sales center is still closed to all agents. It's only open to 5-6 agents in Toronto. Mm-hmm. Only at that stage, if you're buying at that stage, 100%, it's going to be a great investment. Mm-hmm. And you will see the return already within a few months. The price mm-hmm. will increase within a month. You will see a much higher price mm-hmm. For the same unit that you bought, right? So that would be, but you'll have to wait for 3 years to receive the keys, right? So mm-hmm. that's your risk. That's
cool,
your
man.
risk.
All right. Listen, that was amazing. That was such a cool talk. It was so cool to talk to you, man. Are you planning to continue doing videos on YouTube? I know that you sort of took a pause to focus on other things, but I see that you just put out a new video. So I got all excited, and that's why I texted you right away. Yo, let's do a podcast right now.
Yeah.
What are you planning to do?
Thanks a lot for hosting me. It was a pleasure talking with you as well. My plan is to continue with my channel because we're all stuck home, so the market is down. Yeah, might as well do some videos and help people learn more about the real estate market.
Yeah.
So now I'll be focusing more on the real estate projects,
nice.
The locations, and what's coming up next, and different opportunities. So stay tuned if you want to learn where to put your money.
Hey, quick question. Do you want me to put do you want me to put your website under your name, or do you want me to put your YouTube under your name?
You can put, YouTube would be better, I think.
Better? All right, I'll do that. But right away, just tell me your Instagram handle and tell me your YouTube, I guess YouTube link or name. How do you How do I find you?
So my website is scondos.ca.
As in Superman.
Yeah, Superman or Samir.
Sure, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So scondos.ca. My Instagram is the same, scondos.ca, and my YouTube link, I think it's Samir FSA 13. But
just
I need to change that.
Search for Samir Khalilov.
Yeah, exactly. So it would be better.
Awesome, man. Hey, I'm really excited that we just made it, because I actually learned so much right now. I'm also, pumped. I'm going to do some research. But you know what? The funny thing is that we never actually saw each other face to face. And after this conversation, I freaking want to be your friend now, man. I want to talk to you. I want to talk about investing real estate. You seem like a very smart guy, and smart friends nowadays are not very easy to come by. So let's hang out once this whole, crisis is over. Let's meet up, man.
100%, man. 100%. I feel the same way, and I think would be great to hang out.
Absolutely, man. All right. Thank you, and I'll see you later, man. Take care.
All right, man. Have a good day. Bye.